appeals. Appeal process. Segment 20 appeals. In these appeals, there are a lot of amendments now, because they have brought in the monetary limits for filing appeal by the department, etc. So this attempt you can expect good number of questions on appeals. You can see here. First, try to understand what is this appeal process. So whenever adjudication order is passed by the adjudicating authority, so what are the various adjudication orders which are possible? Just now we saw demand order under 73, 74, 76, 75, or even refund order. On any order passed by the GST officer, we can go for appeal. So adjudication order or assessment order by adjudicating authority. Who is considered as adjudicating authority? Just now I told you superintendent, assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, additional or joint commissioner. Now the adjudicating authority passed an order. Now I can go for appeal. Appeal to whom? Appeal to commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals. In income tax we have only CIT appeals, but here we have two, commissioner as well as additional commissioner appeals, if aggrieved by the order. And thereafter, what commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals will do? They will give the decision, they will give the ruling, and based on that we can go for further appeal to GST-80, and again from there we can go for further appeal to High Court and thereafter to Supreme Court. But if the issue is pertaining to place of supply, we can skip GST-80 and directly we can go to Supreme Court, and that is the appeal process here. And thereafter, revisional authority, like that one authority is there. What they will do? They will take up the order for revision. So we are also not going for appeal. We are a taxpayer. We are also not going for appeal. Department also not going for appeal. But the revisional authority will come and take up the order for revision. This is like whistleblower mechanism or audit of adjudication orders. So they do the revision either suo motu or based on the information from commissioner. And when they do the revision, means whatever adjudication order you got, it is not final. That may be subject to change by the revision authority. They will pass a revision order. But based on revision order, if you want to go for appeal, definitely as a taxpayer you can go for appeal, but the appeal will be made to GST-80, appeal to GST-80, and thereafter we will go for appeal to High Court, Supreme Court, etc. Got it? So revision authority passes an order, we will not go for commissioner appeals, we will go to GST-80. Keep that in mind. Then next, appeal to High Court or Supreme Court only if substantial question of law is involved. So who is the final fact finding authority? The final fact finding authority is GST-80. So here we need to understand the difference between question of fact and question of law. If there is a question related to applicability of the provision, then it is question of law. If it is about the condition on which the provision is dependent, then it is question of fact. For example, whether it is supply for consideration or without consideration is a question of fact. If it is supply without consideration, will it become supply or not a supply is question of law. Whether it is blocked credit or not a blocked credit is coming under question of law. But whether it comes under the exception or not coming under the exception is a question of fact. Like that, usually conditions will be there. A provision is dependent upon a condition. Those conditions and all will come under question of fact. Whereas the provision itself is applicable to me or not is a question of law. So for final fact finding authority is only tribunal. Thereafter, if you are touching High Court or Supreme Court, definitely it should be because of a question of law. Even department can also prefer an appeal. So not only the taxpayer, even department can go for appeal against the order, and pre-deposit will be payable for filing an appeal, but that pre-deposit is payable only by the taxpayer, not by the department, not applicable for department appeal. And who can appear before the appellate authority? So this authorized representative, this is common for not only appeals, everywhere, even before the adjudicating authority, even before the appellate authority. Who can act as an authorized representative? A relative can act as an authorized representative, or regular employee of that person, advocate, CA, CMA, CS, even retired officer of government and GST practitioner. All these people can act as authorized representative, that is relative, regular employee, advocate, CA, CMA, CS, retired officer and GST practitioner. However, if that particular person is not retired officer, but he has been dismissed from government service or removed from government service, he cannot act as authorized representative. Or who is convicted of an offence or found guilty of misconduct or adjudged, there is a spelling mistake, adjudged as insolvent, cannot appear as authorized representative. Say for example, there is a CA or CMA who has been reprimanded by ICI for the purpose of professional misconduct. Can he act as authorized representative? No. That is this, found guilty of misconduct, they cannot, or adjudged as insolvent, cannot appear as authorized representative. Then next page you can see GST 80. GST 80 so is constituted from 1/9/2023, but it became effective at a later point of time, only in 2024. But the power, so they have got only in 1/9/2023. We have principal bench and state bench. Principal bench is in New Delhi and state bench will be in certain locations in all states or union territories. What are the issues which the principal bench will hear? So in GST 80 there are two benches. The principal bench will hear the issue related to place of supply and the issue related to anti-profiteering. So that is newly added. Previously place of supply, now they have added anti-profiteering or any other notified cases will be heard by the principal bench, but all other cases will be heard by state bench. And in principal bench there will be a president, there will be judicial members and two technical members, one technical member central government and another technical member state government. Whereas in case of state bench there will be two judicial members, here only one judicial member, here two judicial member. Out of these two judicial member, the senior most member will become the vice president, and here also one technical member central government and state government will be there. This is the constitution of GST 80. I don't think so this will be tested and all in exam, but this is an amendment which is there. Next, suppose if the dispute is less than 50 lakhs without question of law, it may be heard by a single member with the approval of the president. And in other cases, hearing should be by two members, one judicial member and one technical member. Okay, so you need to understand this particular part. That is, see, if you divide it into two, question of law, it's a question of law, correct? It's a question of law. In that question of law, dispute less than 50 lakhs, dispute greater than or equal to 50 lakhs. Okay, so dispute greater than or equals to 50 lakhs. Who should hear? Minimum two members, one judicial and one technical. Up to 50 lakhs, then it can be heard by, that is question of law cannot be heard by one person. Without question of law, underline that, without question of law. If it is a question of law, definitely two members by default, whatever may be the amount, whatever may be the amount. So then without question of law means what? Question of fact, question of fact, question of fact. Okay, so it is not question of law, question of fact. In that question of fact only they have given the division. Okay, so therefore the dispute we will divide into two. Disputes we will divide into two. What is that? Question of law, and question of fact. If it is question of law, what is it they are trying to convey? There is no division. There should be two members, two-member bench. And suppose if it is question of fact, that's where it is divided, where the tax is up to, that is less than 50 lakhs, or where the tax is greater than or equal to 50 lakhs. Where it is less than 50 lakhs, it is a single member bench. So in many movies you would have seen only one person will be sitting as judge, that is single member bench. Whereas in some cases if you see, three people and all will be sitting as judges. Okay, you would have seen that. Okay, so that is called as two member bench, more than one. So single member bench, and here it should be two member bench, that is about this. This is with respect to the disputes. So depending upon question of law or question of fact, etc. Then, so question of law, two member bench, question of fact up to 50, like less than 50 lakh single member bench, greater than or equals to 50 lakhs, 2-member bench. And say this, members differ in decision, case referred to another member for majority opinion resolution, including opinion of members who first heard the case. When there are more than like one member, so definitely based on majority, say for example 3 members or 4 members are there, then majority will prevail, majority's decision will be prevail. Members can be transferred between the benches by president, but the technical members must stay within the respective states because they are state government officers. So technical member state must stay in the same state. Tribunal proceedings cannot be questioned or invalidated due to vacancies or minor defects in the constitution. If you observe, there should be total 3 members, judicial member, technical member state, technical member center, like that. And say for example only one judicial member and one technical member is there and another member is not at all there. Now can we say that as there is a defect in its constitution, so therefore the case will be void or the decision given by them will be void? No, that's why they gave that point. Tribunal proceedings cannot be questioned or invalidated due to vacancies or minor defects in its constitution. Then there are some non-appealable orders. Non-appealable orders means what? We cannot go for appeal against that orders. Whatever order which is related to imprisonment, definitely on imprisonment we cannot go for commissioner appeals because imprisonment order is passed by court. So on that we cannot go for commission appeals. So for imprisonment order appeal cannot be filed. Then sir, what is the way out? Imprisonment order passed, you have to serve that or file a writ petition. File a writ petition in High Court or Supreme Court, but the regular appeal is not possible. Number 2, seizure order. For seizure order, you cannot go for appeal. But penalty order, can we go for appeal? Yes. For confiscation order, we can go for appeal? Yes. So right there, for confiscation order or penalty order, appeal can be filed. For confiscation order, for penalty order, under section 129, for penalty order under section 129 or confiscation order under section 130, confiscation order under section 130, comma, appeal can be filed. Appeal can be filed. But with respect to this this seizure order under 129 or 67, on that appeal cannot be made. Okay. For penalty order under 129 or confiscation order under 130, appeal can be filed. Then first one you have discussed, we have learned imprisonment order appeal is not possible, and even on seizure order also appeal is not possible. Then order sanctioning payment of dues in installments, that is like maximum 24 EMIs, but they are giving only 18 EMIs. You cannot go for appeal stating that officer gave me only 18 EMIs, but he is not giving 24 EMIs, like that you cannot go for appeal. Then transfer of proceedings from one officer to another officer. Say the commissioner transferred the officer from one place to another place, or your proceedings was transferred from one jurisdictional officer to another jurisdictional officer. In that case you cannot say I want that officer only, that officer will be so comfortable for me, like that you cannot ask. So transfer of proceedings from one officer to another officer. So these are the 4 non-appealable orders. This can be asked as a short note question. Now, what is the first appeal provisions? So first appeal is to whom? First appeal is to commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals. And when we will go for commissioner appeals and additional commissioner appeals, easily you can remember, if you see adjudicating authority, adjudicating authority and appellate authority. Who is adjudicating authority? I told you. Additional or joint commissioner, correct? Additional or joint commissioner. Below that AC, DC. Below that superintendent. Okay. Whereas if you see appellate authority at the highest level, like 2 levels we have, commissioner appeals, correct? Commissioner appeals, this is the confusion we have. And below commissioner appeals we have additional or joint commissioner appeals. Okay. additional joint commissioner appeals. Now logically you think, definitely when the order is passed by additional joint commissioner, we cannot go with additional joint commissioner appeals. So definitely we need to go to the next level, am I right? So therefore additional joint commissioner passes the order, okay, then the appeal will be made to commissioner appeals. Suppose if ACDC passes the order or superintendent passes the order, the appeal will be made to additional or joint commissioner appeals. That's what I have given there, okay. So if the appeal is made against the order of additional joint commissioner, we will go to commissioner appeals. Additional joint commissioner, we go to commissioner appeals, and appeal against the order of officer below the rank of additional joint commissioner. Below the rank of additional joint commissioner means ACDC or superintendent, that is to additional joint commissioner appeals. That is same hierarchy, we cannot go to the next level, we need to go. That is the meaning of this phrase. Then what is the time limit within which they need to go for appeal? 3 months and plus 1 month. You remember this with the logic. Once the order is passed, as per section 78, within 3 months we need to make the payment. So within 3 months, either make the payment from order or you can go for appeal. Say I missed 3 months. Is there any condonation of delay for recovery? No. For recovery they will initiate recovery, but for appeal they have given a condonation. What is that? 1 month. Means if it is crossing 3 months, if the appellate authority approves, we can file the appeal even after that also. So 3 months plus 1 month. Can department also go for appeal? Of course, department also can go for appeal, but what is the time limit? 6 months plus 1 month. So against the adjudication order, so commissioner can prefer an appeal. So in that case, 6 months plus 1 month review. And pre-deposit. This pre-deposit is to show the seriousness for the purpose of appeal, but this is not applicable in case of department appeal. How much is the pre-deposit? 100% of the admitted due plus 10% of disputed tax subject to maximum 25 crores. But here we need to take this as CGST. I told you 3 places we need to take CGST, SGST separately. One is penalty, already we discussed. Another is pre-deposit and another is late fee. This is pre-deposit. So this we need to compute separately. So whatever is your admitted due, full you need to pay, plus 10% of the disputed tax. For example, if the disputed tax is 400 crores, 400 crores is total. So total into 50% is CGST. So means 200 crores. 200 crores into 10%, 20 crores or 25 crores, whichever is lower. So 20 crores only you need to pay. Is that clear? Suppose if the total is 600 crores, the disputed tax, 600 crores, half is 300. 300 into 10%, 30. 30 or 25. So 25 crores only we will pay as pre-deposit under CGST. So this 25 crores will be under SGST. So therefore what is the total pre-deposit? 50 crores. Is it clear? Then in case of appeal against a penalty order under 129. So I told you against penalty order under 129 we can go for appeal. So in that case what is the pre-deposit? 25% of that penalty. So that we discuss now 200% of tax or 50% of value, whichever is higher, like that. On that how much? 25%. Again this 25% is under CGST or total? CGST. Means 25% on CGST penalty and 25% on SGST penalty. Got it? Then is there any appeal fee? No, there is no appeal fee. And what is the time limit within which they need to dispose of the appeal? 1 year. It is not mandatory, okay, but the time limit given is 1 year. Then next, second appeal to GST-80. So when second appeal to GST-80, against whose order? Already this first appeal authority has given the order. On that order we can go for appeal to GST-80 against the order of the commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals or even revisional authority. What is the time limit? So time limit, see, remember, either against the order of commissioner appeals, additional commissioner appeals, or even against revisional authority also we can go to GST-80. Time limit here easily remember, 3 plus 1 na, here 3 plus 3. So 3 months plus 3 months, and here 6 plus 1, here it will be 6 plus 3. So same copy paste, 3 months 6 months, 3 months 6 months, just the condonation of delay will change. In the first case it is 1 month, next case it will be 3 months. And pre-deposit, is there a pre-deposit? Yes, but this is not applicable in case of department appeal. How much is the pre-deposit? 100% of the admitted due plus 20% of the disputed tax subject to maximum 50 crores. That is again under CGST. The same amount is payable under SGST. And here you can remember 10% 25 crores double, 20% 50 crores. Does it mean already I am paying 10% here, so extra 10% I need to pay here? No. So 20% additional we need to pay, means 10% we already paid plus 20% extra we need to pay, which means total 30% we will be ending up paying as pre-deposit of disputed tax, not disputed due, only disputed tax. Okay. And for example, you can see here, that is they have passed an order. So this order, adjudication order or order under section 74, order under section 74, they are asking us to pay tax, interest and penalty. Say tax is 10 lakhs and interest, this is total, okay, total tax 10 lakhs and interest is somewhere like 18% on that and the penalty will be 10 lakhs. Now what happened? Against this order we are going for appeal. So appeal to whom? Appeal to, so Commissioner Appeals, appeal to Commissioner Appeals. Now in this we need to check how much is admitted, not necessary that entire amount is to be admitted and entire amount needs to be disputed. So there is nothing admitted, so means entirely it will be disputed. So now we need to see what is the outcome based on that. Okay. So say for example here nothing is admitted means entirely it is disputed, Now tell me how much is the pre-deposit that I need to pay. What is the pre-deposit? Pre-deposit under CGST. What is the pre-deposit under CGST Act? 5 lakhs into 10%, that will be 50,000. Okay, 50,000. Why? I told you this 10 lakhs is full tax. So we need to compute separately for CGST, SGST. 5 lakhs into 10%, 50,000. And what is the pre-deposit under SGST? Pre-deposit under SGST Act is same. So 5 lakhs into 10%, that will be 50,000. This is how the pre-deposit will be computed. So remember, only tax into 10%, not total due, only tax into 10%. And the outcome, if you see, they are asking us to pay 10 lakhs and 18% and 10 lakhs, which means we lost the case. As this person lost the case, again this person is going for appeal to GST-AT. Appeal to GST-AT. In this appeal to GST-AT, so what is admitted? What is admitted? So in that, say for example, he came to know that anyhow he need to pay 3 lakhs. So therefore 3 lakhs he admitted and applicable interest 18% and penalty also 3 lakhs, and he disputed with respect to what? Remaining balance, and let's see what happens to the outcome. He disputed with respect to 7 lakhs and 18% and penalty 7 lakhs, and in this case what will be the pre-deposit? What will be the pre-deposit? So first we will see pre-deposit under CGST Act. First, 100% of admitted due. What is that 100% of admitted due? That is 1,50,000. So admitted due. So admitted due is how much? 1,50,000 plus 18% on that plus 1,50,000. Again I am telling it is under CGST Act due to that reason. And thereafter in the disputed tax it will be 20%. So what is the tax? 7 lakhs. In that 7 lakhs CGST will be 3,50,000. 3,50,000 into 20%. So 3,50,000 into 20%, that will be 70,000 will be disputed tax. Is it clear? So which means total he need to pay 1,50,000 plus 18% plus 1,50,000 plus disputed tax into 20%, 70,000 he is paying under CGST, and the same will be payable under SGST also. Now what happened to the outcome? say the outcome is that he don't have to pay anything. So means he won the case. That 7 lakhs he don't have to pay. He won the case. So therefore, this 50,000 whatever he paid and this 70,000 whatever he paid, this both he will get as a refund of pre-deposit. What is the refund of pre-deposit? Total, that is 50,000 plus 70,000, he will get a refund of pre-deposit. So that will be 1,20,000 he will get as a refund of pre-deposit, including, that is along with interest. At what rate? Along with interest at the rate of 9% per annum. So pre-deposit interest rate is not 6%. So ICAI has changed that, and previously there was a conflict whether 6% or 9% is applicable. In some old questions they gave 6%, but in the recent past they have given 9%. So please follow 9% only, because that is a view that ICAI is taking. So therefore, in case of pre-deposit, the interest rate will be 9% per annum. Got it? That is about this pre-deposit calculation. Now, so therefore 100% of the admitted due in the second appeal plus 20% of disputed tax subject to maximum 50 crores. Then appeal fee. What is the appeal fee? 1000 rupees for every 1 lakh or part thereof. Just add that, or part thereof subject to maximum 25,000. For example, 14,20,000. 14,20,000 means what is the appeal fee for GST-AT? For 1 lakh 1000. So part thereof also 1000, which means 15,000 will be taken as the appeal fee. Suppose if it is 28,40,000, what is the appeal fee? 25,000, because the maximum appeal fee will be 25,000. And sir, is it under CGST, SGST or in total? Total. This is not late fee. Again I am repeating. This is I think 12th time I am repeating today. That is penalty, pre-deposit and late fee, not this appeal fee, late fee. These three places only you need to take CGST, SGST separately. In all other places it is the total. So this is the total appeal fee. Got it? 1 lakh for every 1 lakh or part thereof of total tax. Therefore 1000 rupees subject to maximum 25,000. And time limit for disposal of appeal. What is the time limit? 1 year, and it is not mandatory. GST-AT may refuse to admit appeal if tax or ITC or penalty involved does not exceed 50,000. So this is up to the discretion of the GST-AT. Maybe if there is a substantial question of law involved, they may admit the appeal. Here it is not shall, it is may. So it is up to their discretion, and they may or may not. Then there is one important amendment, that is, as GST-AT is established recently and it started functioning only from 1st August 2024. What about the cases which happened before 1st August 2024? The time limit of 3 months, 6 months and all should not be taken from the date of first appeal outcome, because the GST-AT was not at all working at that time. So that's why for all the cases which happened before 1/8/2024, they have added 3 months or 6 months from 1/8/2024 should be taken. The time limit for filing appeal is 3 months or 6 months from 1/8/2024. So this is only the date you need to remember, because GST-AT started functioning from 1/8/2024. Next, third appeal to High Court. So against whose order we will go? Against the order of GST-AT. That to which bench? State bench. Because principal bench means directly we will go for Supreme Court. We will skip the High Court. So state bench. And time limit. What is the time limit? 180 days. And unlimited continuation of delay. There is no restriction. And pre-deposit, late fee, appeal fee, etc. as per CPC, Civil Procedure Code. Fourth appeal to Supreme Court. Against whose order? Either against the order of High Court or GST-AT principal bench. Principal bench can hear two cases. What are they? Place of supply and anti-profiteering. And time limit, pre-deposit, everything is as per CPC. Then matter relating to question of law, we can go up to Supreme Court. If the matter is related to question of fact, we can go up to GST-AT. Then next thing, we have interest on refund of pre-deposit. This is what I told you, 9% per annum from the date of deposit. Very good provision. It is not you make application, after that 60 days, no, nothing of that sort. From the day we make a deposit till the day we are getting the refund, they will be giving us interest at the rate of 9% per annum. But what is the time limit within which they will grant refund? They have not given, but for every day they will be paying us interest at the rate of 9%. Then they have brought in one new amendment in this, monetary limits for filing department appeal. That is, department also can go for appeal, but we need to reduce the number of litigations made by the department. Unnecessarily for small issues, they should not come and waste the time for that purpose. But this is not for the taxpayer, this is only for the department. The same kind of provision we have even in income tax also. So here for GST 80, what is the limit? 20 lakhs. For High Court 1 crore. For Supreme Court 2 crores. Is it CGST or SGST or total, sir? Total. When the total amount is 20 lakhs, total amount is 1 crore and total amount of tax involved is 2 crore. Means the disputed tax we say na, disputed tax, total disputed tax. In the total disputed tax, if it is 20 lakhs, 1 crore or 2 crore, respectively we can go to, that is department can go to GST 80, High Court or Supreme Court. So there is one good query. Sir, in case of section 129, you said for first appeal pre-deposit is 25%. What about second appeal? There is no information about it because there is no pre-deposit in case of second appeal. So in case of second appeal against 129 penalty, there is no pre-deposit. That's the reason why 25% they are collecting in the first appeal itself. Because when you go for second appeal, there is no penalty. Got it? So here 10 plus 20, 30, but they are collecting in the first appeal itself 25% in that case. Then see this. So what are the principles to be considered while determining whether a case falls within the above monetary limit or not? Suppose if there is a tax is in dispute with or without penalty under or interest, tax plus interest plus penalty or tax plus penalty or tax, whatever it may be. Don't consider interest and penalty, just see only the tax. If the tax is more than 20 lakhs, go to GST 80. More than 1 crore, High Court, more than 2 crores, Supreme Court. That too, headwise we need to see or total we need to see. What is that I told you? That's what here. Only the aggregate amount of tax in dispute, including CGST, SGST, IGST and compensation says. Suppose if only interest is in dispute, interest alone we are going, like department want to go for appeal. On interest alone in the demand order, they want to go for appeal. Now what they need to check for counting this monetary limit? Just the interest. On penalty alone, department want to go for appeal. Then only penalty. On late fee alone, department want to go for appeal. So only late fee. Easy na? So tax with or without penalty and or interest, only see tax, nothing else. So then interest, penalty, late fee. Suppose interest, penalty and or late fee without involving any tax, there is no tax. Interest, penalty or late fee, these three together is the dispute on which department want to go for appeal. See the aggregate of that, aggregate amount of interest, penalty and late fee. But remember, the moment tax comes into picture, you ignore interest, penalty etc. You see only the tax. Because logically, if tax itself is not there, the penalty will not arise. If tax itself not there, the late fee will not arise. That's why we see the tax as the dispute. Okay. Next, if it is erroneous refund, we will see the amount of refund. Amount of refund in dispute, including all CGST, SGST and compensation cess. Then monetary limit shall be applied on the disputed amount of tax or interest or penalty or late fee as the case may be, in respect of which appeal or application is contemplated to be filed in a case. In a composite order which disposes more than one appeal or demand notice, the monetary limit shall be applicable on the total amount of tax or interest or penalty late fee as the case may be, and not on the amount involved in individual appeal or demand notice. Composite orders means what? Multiple orders together got disposed of in one particular case. Say for example, 3-4 orders are there, merging 3-4 orders, one decision has been given. Now in that case, on that decision of GST 80, they want to go for appeal to High Court. Then in that case, one order we need to see the limit, or together we need to see the limit together. You read it again. In a composite order which disposes more than one appeal or demand notice, the monetary limit shall be applicable on the total amount of tax, interest, penalty or late fee as the case may be, and not on the amount involved in individual appeal or demand notice. Appeal should not be filed merely because the disputed tax amount involved in a case exceeds the monetary limit fixed above. Filing of appeal in such case is to be decided on the merits of the case. That is, just because the amount is more, they should not go for appeal. Really, there should be a dispute, then only they should go. Where appeal is not filed in pursuance of these instructions, such cases shall not have any precedent value. For example, there is a order, and in that order, department is not satisfied with the order, but they could not go for appeal. Why they could not go for appeal? Maybe because of the monetary limit issue. The amount involved is somewhere like 80 lakhs, so they cannot go to High Court. And in another case, same dispute, another case, same issue, and there the tax amount is 1.2 crores. Can they go to High Court appeal? Yes. Now the person cannot question that, sir, in the previous case you did not go for appeal, why in my case you are going for appeal? So because in the previous case they were not going for appeal does not mean they accepted the order. So they could not go for appeal because of the monetary limit issue. You read that. Non-filing of appeal based on the above monetary limits shall not preclude the tax officer, shall not preclude the tax officer from filing an appeal or application in any other dispute or in any other case involving the same or similar issues in which the tax in dispute exceeds the monetary limit or case involving question of law. Okay, so they can definitely go. In the previous case, why they did not go? Because of the monetary limit issue does not mean in future they cannot go. They can definitely go. Where an appeal is not filed solely on the basis of above monetary limits, there shall be no presumption that department has acquitted in the decision. They have accepted the decision. That does not mean. And therefore, they can definitely go for appeal. And next, one more point. Following cases to be taken on merits irrespective of the monetary limits. What does it mean? First they gave monetary limit. After giving monetary limit, they are telling in the following cases don't check the monetary limits. Better they should not have given, correct? But they gave the monetary limits and they are telling in the following cases don't check monetary limits and all, directly go for appeal. First, whenever it is a provision that questions the act which ultravires the constitution. So there is a decision given by the High Court telling that, so government has made a law which is ultravires the constitution. So therefore we struck down this provision, like that they will make a law. Already it has happened. That is transportation of goods by vessel from outside India to India, when both supplier and recipient are located outside India. On this transportation of goods by vessel, on the freight, GST will be payable by importer of such goods under RCM, like that one provision was there. And therefore in High Court, what they did in Mohit Minerals case, High Court has specified that it is a constitutional validity needs to be questioned here. So definitely they cannot levy this, on which department went for Supreme Court. When department went for Supreme Court, we don't have to check the monetary limit, because the dispute is what? Whether the act ultravires the constitution or not. For that purpose, even though the monetary limit is less than 1 crore, less than 2 crores, they can definitely go for appeal. That is this. Same way. Second point is, whenever the decision is like the act, the rules ultravires the constitution. First point, act ultravires constitution. Second, rules ultravires act. Rules ultravires act. Third point, the circulars or notifications ultravires the act and rules. See that. These 3 points easily you can remember. Where any provision of CGST, SGST or IGST has been held to be ultravires the constitution, or has held to be, that is act, rules held to be ultravires the parent act, or order, notification or instructions held to be ultravires the act or rules. Clear? Because usually this is how the order will be. First constitution, below that act, below that rules, below that notification, circulars and orders. So when any one ultravires the other, like that if they have given, so on that even though the amount does not exceed the monetary limit, they can go for appeal. So these 3 points easily you can remember. Then fourth point, where the matter is related to valuation, classification, refunds, place of supply or any other nature which is recurring in nature and involves interpretation of the provisions of the act. So what are they? Valuation, refund, valuation, refund, place of supply, classification. 4. Valuation, refund, place of supply, classification, or any issue which has recurring implication. In that case, even though it does not exceed the monetary limit, they can go for appeal. Where strictures or adverse comments have been passed under or cost has been imposed against the government or department or their officers. So, when the High Court is scolding the department officers, and for that purpose, like they are telling adverse comments against the department officers, or they have imposed some cost on the department officers, no, because of which you have to pay this much, like that, then in that case, if department want to go for appeal to Supreme Court, they can go without checking the monetary limit. Any other case or class of cases where in the opinion of the board it is necessary to contest in the interest of justice or revenue. So, in the interest of justice or revenue, if they want to do, they can. So, these are the 6 exceptions they have created for the point, that is monetary limits. Okay. Now, so this how it can be tested in exam, because there are a lot of points related to this, and I have created some questions related to this. So, just we will quickly look into those questions to understand how this can be tested. So, it is, one second. See this, see these illustrations please, like how the questions could be coined based on whatever we have discussed on amendments so far, how the questions could come in exam. I discussed this in my regular batch, but I know I didn't wanted to add this for you. So, look into the case 1, a tax dispute involving a demand of CGST and SGST totaling 18 lakhs is under consideration for filing an appeal before the GSTAT. Will the central tax officer file an appeal based on the monetary limit? So, what is the monetary limit for appeal? GSTAT 20 lakhs, but what is the monetary limit in the present case? 18 lakhs. So, therefore, as the monetary limit does not exceed 20 lakhs, department cannot file appeal to GSTAT. Okay. Then next, so we have case 2, a case involving a disputed tax demand of 95 lakhs. Including CGST, SGST and IGST is being considered for appeal before the High Court. What will be the decision regarding the filing of appeal based on the monetary limits? So, this is to High Court. For High Court, what is the limit? 1 crore. The monetary limit for filing appeal is 1 crore. In the present case, it is 95 lakhs, which does not, that is, while counting 95 lakhs, we need to see everything, total. So, which does not exceed 1 crore. Therefore, department cannot file appeal. But can the taxpayer file an appeal in this case? Yes. However, taxpayer can file an appeal. Then case 3, in a particular case, the penalty imposed is rupees 15 lakhs and the interest charged is rupees 12 lakhs. Only interest and penalty pa? Interest and penalty. So, we need to aggregate both. 15 plus 12, 27 with no disputed tax. Should the department file an appeal before GSTAT? GSTAT limit is 20, but here it is 27, which is more than 20. Therefore, department can file an appeal before GSTAT. Are you understanding? While discussing that, you are getting sleep na. So, in exam also you will sleep while you are reading that question, but this is how they will be testing. Then next, case 4, GSTAT has ruled that certain provisions of GSTAT are ultra vires to the Constitution of India and the monetary value in that case is only 15 lakhs. Can the department file an appeal to High Court? Yes. If there is a issue pertaining to act being ultra vires the Constitution, monetary limit is, therefore, department can file a appeal to High Court. Case 5, a taxpayer is involved in a dispute regarding the valuation of goods and the tax in dispute is 18 lakhs. Can the department choose to file an appeal based on the merits of the case to GSTAT? So, what happens here when the issue is related to value of supply? What are they? Value, refund, place of supply, classification. Here it is related to valuation. So definitely department can file an appeal to GST/AT. Monetary limits not applicable to dispute related to value of supply, therefore department can file appeal to GST/AT. Case 6. A composite order disposes of two appeals, one involving a disputed tax demand of 12 lakhs and other involving 14 lakhs. Should the department file an appeal before GST/AT? Whenever they are going for appeal against the composite orders, two different orders, whether we need to see order wise or total. So 12 plus 14 is 26 lakhs, which is more than 20 lakhs. So department can file an appeal to GST/AT. Then case 7. A composite order disposes of two appeals, one involving a tax dispute of 12 and another involving 14. Should the department file an appeal before High Court? So again same, 12 plus 14, 26, which does not exceed 1 crore. So High Court they cannot go for appeal. Then case 8. If the department decides not to file an appeal due to the monetary limits in a particular case, can this decision be treated as a precedent for future cases with similar issues? No. So just because they did not go for appeal, it does not mean they have accepted the appeal. If department has not filed appeal due to monetary limit, it cannot be inferred that department has accepted the appeal. Case 9. ABC Limited claims a refund of 22 lakhs, which includes compensation cess of 10 lakhs. The department has denied the refund claim and the taxpayer intends to challenge the decision. Should the department file an appeal before GST/AT? So what is the total? 22 plus 10, that is 22 includes 10. Yes, compensation cess also will be taken. So 22 is more than 20. Therefore department can file an appeal. Even if it does not exceed 20 also they can go for appeal because it is refund. As the issue is pertaining to refund, even if it does not exceed 20 they can go for appeal. But that point no need to write here because the question is about 22 including compensation cess. So full total we need to take. In case where the tax dispute amounts to 9 lakhs, the court passed strictures and adverse comments against the department. Should the department file an appeal based on the monetary limits? Yes, monetary limits department can file. Department can file if the issue is related to strictures or adverse comments or any cost that is imposed on government or department. Okay. So like this they can ask. In RTP already one question they have asked on monetary limits for the latest RTP, but why only on monetary limits they should get the question? They can ask on these also. So when we learn fully, otherwise don't learn. That is about this. Next, say this, revisional authority under GST, fine. We are left with something, can we complete it? We'll complete it and then take break, okay. Say this, revisional authority under GST. So who is revisional authority? I told you whenever the adjudication order is passed and against that adjudication order if they want to modify, so definitely they can modify, that is audit of adjudication orders. Revision authority is appointed for revision of appeal orders or adjudication orders. Adjudication order, appeal order and all they cannot revise. And how they can do the revision? Either on its own motion, so voluntarily they can take, or based on the information received by it, or based on the request from commissioner, call for and examine the record of any proceedings. And if they consider that the decision given in that order is erroneous, point number 1 is erroneous. Erroneous insofar it is, point number 2, prejudicial to the interest of revenue. Erroneous or prejudicial to the interest of revenue, or is illegal or improper. Point number 3, illegal or improper. Point number 4, has not taken into material facts. 4 lines, okay. Remember these wordings you should write in the exam when you get a question on revision authority. Number 1, that is erroneous or prejudicial to interest of revenue, or illegal or improper. Number 4, has not taken into certain material facts. Then what revision authority can do? They may stay such order or decision, and after making further inquiry can do any of these 3 things. Either they can enhance, that is increase, or they can modify, that is decrease, or annul, they can cancel the said decision or order. Next, no revision in certain cases. So certain cases revision cannot be done. So when if you go for appeal against that order, adjudication order, already appellate authority is going to look into it. So that's why revision authority will not touch that order. However, when in adjudication order there are 4 grounds or 4 disputes, in that 4 disputes, 3 disputes only we are going for appeal. With respect to 1 dispute, we are not going for appeal, and we accepted that. On that particular point which we have accepted, they can take up the order for revision. So see this, order has been subject to appeal. However, revision authority may pass an order on any point which has not been raised and decided in an appeal. That is with respect to admitted due. We discussed now admitted due, disputed. With respect to admitted due, they can revise. Order has already been taken for revision. So the order has been taken for revision and the revision authority did not revise. Means on merits they said that everything is correct. Now another revision authority cannot come and take up this order for revision. Then order sought to be revised is a revision order, which means that order has been taken up for revision and the revision authority has revised it, and once the order has been revised by one revision authority, another revision authority cannot touch that. Okay. Then time limit for taking up the order for revision. What is the time limit? Suppose you go for appeal against that order, then so 1 year from the outcome of such appeal or 3 years from the adjudication order, whichever is later. Mark this page. Whichever is later, not whichever is earlier, whichever is later. 1 year from the date of order in such appeal or 3 years from the date of adjudication order, whichever is later. That is the time limit by which. But sir, when we go for appeal, they cannot do revision. No, they can do the revision with respect to few grounds on which we did not go for appeal. For that reason only they gave this time limit. Suppose if appeal is not at all filed, when the revision authority can take up the order for revision? After 6 months. Why after 6 months? Because in this 6 months, either the taxpayer can go for appeal or the department can go for appeal. That's why 6 months time is there. After 6 months, the revision authority will take up the order for revision, but the overall period by which they need to complete is 3 years. After 6 months from the date of adjudication order and within 3 years from the date of such order. Period to be excluded in computing limitation period of 3 years. This is there even in adjudication order also. What is that? Stay granted. Don't consider that period. Similar issue pending in court. Don't consider this issue. These 2 points are same. So when the issuance of revision order is stayed by order of a court or tribunal, that should not be taken in computing 3 years. Time spent in appeal under similar issue in tribunal to high court or high court to supreme court should not be taken. So write this. These provisions are equally applicable for demand order under 73, 74 and 76. This is common point. Both in adjudication also it is there and even in revision also it is there. These provisions are equally applicable for demand order under section 73, 74, 76. Next, look into this rule 108. It says what should be taken as the date of filing an appeal. So actually it is only for the first appeal, not for the second appeal. For the first appeal only it will be applicable. So it depends upon the adjudication order whether uploaded in the portal or not. Adjudication authority gave the adjudication order. Whether that adjudication order is already uploaded in the portal. Yes, it's already uploaded in the portal. Then the date on which you submit the appeal form, they will give an acknowledgement. The date of acknowledgement, provision acknowledgement itself will be taken as the date of filing appeal because order has already been uploaded by the officer. Order of adjudication authority is uploaded in the common portal. Date of provision acknowledgement is the date of filing appeal. Suppose if there is a state government officer who passed the order, state government officers and all will not upload in the portal because they will just type it in a dot matrix printer and they will be giving it to us, and then in that case it will not be uploaded in the portal. Then what we need to do? First you make the appeal form. First you submit the appeal form. After you submit the appeal form, they will be giving you provisional acknowledgement. Then you get the copy of the adjudication order from them, scan it and upload it in the portal. If you do it within 7 days from the date of filing appeal, then in that case the date on which you got the provisional acknowledgement is the date of filing appeal. If you are uploading this copy of adjudication order beyond 7 days, the date on which you uploaded the copy of the order will be taken as the date of filing appeal. Self-certified copy of the order is submitted by appellant within 7 days from filing appeal form. The date of provision acknowledgement is the date of filing appeal. Beyond 7 days means the date of submission of copy shall be considered as the date of filing appeal. And this is an amendment for November 25 exam. You don't have to bother about it. Completely the pre-deposit provision they have changed. But for your exam, whatever we have discussed, that is only applicable. So with this, we completed appeals also.